Friends, it's good to be here. Bobby Williams, Reverend Bob at reverendbob.com. And we also looking at just talking about today's subject matter, which is Deliverance Ministry. I'm not a part of a Deliverance Ministry. At least I'm not yet. I'm just in the beginning stages of even understanding what goes on there. But I have had the experience. I want to give a shout out to my friend, Reverend Mathew T. We call him T because he has an unpronounceable Congolese last name. So we've given him a stage name of T. Mathew T. Mathew is about to take over ministry in Dallas, Texas, and build it up from, basically from the weeds up to something great, I believe. But Mathew is definitely a minister who his ministry is deliverance. For those of you that don't understand that parlance, and I didn't until a few weeks ago, deliverance is about the removal or the taking out of a human being the demonic forces that can possess them. Until maybe 8 weeks ago, I knew that demons existed, and I've actually been attacked myself by demons once in Hawaii. And that's I know it's real. I can tell you right now, there's absolutely nothing fantasy or I should set back a little bit, get the top of my head in there because you can see that there's no hair there either. But but the demonic forces are what's controlling things going on in this realm, in this world, where Satan has been stationed since he was cast out of heaven, basically, since he tempted Eve with the apple and got this whole thing down this rabbit hole here with sin and a need for redemption that Jesus provided for us. But Mathew T's ministry is about casting those out. So people come to him or bring people to him who are doing erratic, irrational, and illegal even sometimes, but just things that are crazy. And take a look at our society right now. All you got to do is watch the news. I mean, and we look at it and say, well, they're crazy. Okay. Maybe so. Maybe they're acting crazy. But a lot of people that were taking, let's take an example, this gentleman, call him a gentleman, but this perpetrator of this crime in California recently, he killed 10 people at a grocery store. And he walked in there with a gun, killed 10 people at the grocery store, seemingly at random. Okay. And I say seemingly because we just don't know for sure what the real motivations in that are. And it's probably not his personal motivation. It's a motivation that was put into him by a demonic force that was controlling him. Buy a gun, kill some people, go to this grocery store at this time and kill some people. Make sure you get this guy and then shoot anybody else you want to. Because I'm telling you, there was a reason for killing one of those people, at least, that the demon and Satan wanted dead. They were working against him effectively in some area. Might have been that they were just working on one person that was going to get redeemed in Jesus, that would have made an excellent resource for going forth and doing something. Now, without that redemption, that person is going to be open to whatever the demons want to do with them. And it may be, you're the next Hitler. It may be the next whatever, because that redemption didn't get done. God still works in very powerful and mysterious ways. So I'm not saying to give up on that guy, but there's somebody out there that was that at least one of those individuals was going to be very formative with and was going to bring them to Jesus, and that's why they're dead. Sound crazy to you? It makes as much sense as the other alternative, which this guy goes and buys a gun and goes to a completely random place and kills 10 people. Come on, that doesn't make any sense either. Okay, so I'm not working against a whole lot of logic in this case, but demonic forces are there. They're out there. If you see somebody in your family that's doing things that are terribly destructive, people who are overwhelmingly depressed about something, Satan's biggest tool, his biggest force that he has to work against you is guilt, or that whisper in your ear constantly with, oh, you got to worry about that money. You got bills to pay. How are you going to get that money? How you going to, you're not worthy of this. You don't have the ability to make that kind of money. Or nobody likes you. You're just a terrible person, people hate you, and you should be worried about that. And you should get all depressed that you don't have a bunch of friends, and you're too depressed to go to church today, and yada 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 yada. That's just lies. Okay, only tool the guy's got is lies, and he uses those lies to create uh, doubt and really take away the self-esteem of an individual, so that it works it down to the point where, buy a gun, go to this grocery store, be there at 2 o'clock, shoot all these people, make sure you get this one. Okay, make sure there's going to be one guy there that's a police officer, like in this case. Get that guy, and then get the rest of them. So I think the first one he shot in the parking lot was a police officer, right? Then he went on inside and did the other things he did. I don't know all the facts of the case. Don't quote me on none of that. But the thing is, the guy's, got us. He's from Syria. He's not religious, and he's wide open to a demonic force coming in there and taking over his place. And I've seen Mathew T, the minister that I talked about earlier, cast a demon out. It took 45 minutes. When he started talking to this gentleman, they had his friend from church brought him there. We were in Moravian Falls, North Carolina, and I'm sitting there in the foyer of the lodge near the fireplace, minding my own business, reading something on my iPad, when these folks, including Matthew and a few other people there, kind of gathered up there in that foyer, and I started out by blessing various different ones, and then it was this gentleman's turn, and Todd, I think was his name, and they said, Todd, come over here to get a blessing, and he didn't want anything to do with it. So they finally cajoled him a little bit to come on over, get a blessing. Brought you here to do this. So the guy comes over, and as Matthew starts talking to him, he goes and he violently sits down on the couch and starts hollering at the top of his lungs, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?" And Matthew told him that, "I'm the representative of Jesus Christ. I'm here to cast out you demon." And the guy jumped up off the couch. And he was, a young man, pretty athletic looking. He ran out of the room. He had to run around a long communal table and a bunch of furniture and everything, and like a shot out the front door, down the steps and down the hill outside. So Matthew and his friend from church out on the front porch there, commanding him back into the house, in the name of Jesus Christ. Next thing you know, he comes in. I couldn't believe it. He comes back over there in that same area around that couch, and Matthew goes to work on him there, casting out that demon. Out, out, fire, out, all kinds of stuff, and being supported by other people. So hell, I joined in too, and it took about another 30 minutes. By this time, the guy Todd is down on his knees and just about shaking, and on all fours, when finally, this last command of out, and whatever was there left. I couldn't see anything personally. Matthew said he saw it. It was really a big thing. He said, I could feel like a pressure in the room changed or something, And the whole time that they were praying for him, I had my hands out like so, praying too. I could feel a pulsing tingle in my hands, like almost like like you're reaching too close to an electrical current or something. And then the demonic force is gone, and Todd gets up, and he's well, and he's happy, and he's smiling, and hugging a couple of people there and everything. Later that night, they attended a church service, and Todd couldn't wait to get up in the front of the church and tell his story to about 200 people in there that he'd been delivered that day, that a demon had been passed out of him. I understand since that time they brought his wife back there and had the same kind of experience there, and getting demonic forces out of her, so that they've got a family that's on the right track now and everything. But you could have knocked me over with a feather when I saw all this stuff. Because, I'm a good Lutheran boy. We don't get too much religion. Never got enough religion at home as a Lutheran to hurt you. But this was intense, very intense. And I could tell anybody that's listening, if you don't think that there are demons that possess people and cause them to do things in your family, in your community, around your workplace and all, you're not paying attention. There are definitely those things. And, the way that we combat those is by prayer, by anointing people and places, by, you hear things about holy water. People joke about these things. The reason they joke about them is the devil's making them joke about it to demean it and to make it seem like it's not a reality. But I can tell you, it's just as real as this desk I'm pounding on. Okay. It is absolutely real. It is absolutely in your face. And if you don't recognize it and you don't know what to do about it, then you're at risk. If you don't have Jesus in your heart, the demon can just walk in there. He can take thousands of demons in there. I took Mathew T to see one of my friends in the mountains of Georgia that has gone so nuts that he's given away everything that he ever earned. He's given away hundreds of thousands of dollars to some people who promised him, riches for, getting involved in their chain letter or whatever it is. It used to be called a Nigerian chain letter. These days, I think most of these people are raising money for terrorist operations in the Middle East. And I told Mike this. I said, don't do this. Tell you, he does it. You can give him $100. He will hitchhike to town because he doesn't have a car or anything anymore. He will hitchhike to town, buy a $100 gift certificate, and immediately get on the cell phone that he's using until they cut it off, and call that into whatever that demon is that he has possession of him that day, and give him that credit card that's prepaid card number. So boom, that $100 is gone. The last time I walked into Mike's place, he did not know who I was. I've been working around him and with him for 7 years, and he didn't know who I was. I was standing there with Mathew T and his sister and me, and the man started talking about, well, I sold that business to a guy named Bobby Williams, a year ago, which was actually more like 2 years ago, and I don't have anything to do with that product anymore. You have to see him about that and everything. And why are y'all here? So we prayed for him, started praying for him, and everything. The mood changed in the room. He suddenly knew who I was, just like that. Somebody else took over, and he knew who I was, and before that, he'd been showing us his various different kids and pictures on the wall and everything. Then he knew who I was. He knew that his daughter Kimberly had just died, and he understood what was going on there and realized we were there praying for him. And he could not shove us out the door any faster. We got outside in the car. Mathew T says to me, he says, the man has got a legion of demons. It's witchcraft. He says, a legion of demons in him. Whoever was on the phone with him, built some kind of altar and basically just took over Mike and started pumping these things into him. And, my friend Mike doesn't exist there anymore. If he is, he's very, very small and all that. And we, so they started praying for him. We're sitting there in my truck out front of this building, and he comes running out of the building then over to the truck. I roll the window down. He said, yeah, hey, get something out of my shed over there, take it for the girls. And, I got somebody coming now. You gotta go. So he turns around, he runs back inside. And again, Mathew says he's doing everything he can do to get us out of here. Nobody's coming. Nobody's doing anything. He is just scared to death that, that we're here and we're, wanting to do something, but he said, there's not enough of your friend there left. There's not enough of your friend coming out in this to be able to pull him out of this. So we left, and we prayed about it for another few days, but it so far has not happened. And but there's, hey, Mathew T, Houston, Texas. Look him up on the internet. Follow him. He follows this too, so I'm sure he'll be embarrassed that I'm giving him this big plug. But I believe there's great things in store for this young man. He's 33 years old now. He's really getting ready to come into his own in the ministry and in deliverance of people from these demons and these evil spirits and things. I don't even know all the nomenclature and all but I can tell you this: I've seen it done. I've seen it happen. I've seen it change lives. Don't be an idiot and not pay attention to this. You don't. If you don't believe this, what do you believe? What do you believe is happening in this country, in this world? It's going. Chaos is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and less logical. Look at Washington. There's not a thing they do in Washington that makes any damn sense at all. So figure that out. I mean, Joe Biden wins an election. How do you do that? It took a legion of demons and a whole bunch of people possessed to stuff enough ballot boxes to make that happen. Believe me. And judges and governors and everybody else that had to fall in line because they've already taken the deal. They've already made their deal. Joe Biden in the Senate for 47 years. You think that man didn't make a deal with the devil for that? Come on now. He ain't got sense. He ain't got enough brains to run a house cat. So, maybe you're offended at that. Tough. Live it. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to save lives and save souls. If you don't have Jesus in your life, it could be the most idiotic thing that you have ever done. It's free. It's not hard to do. Jesus made it as a gift for us. Wash away your sins, put you in the book. You'll get in heaven. Maybe you won't be on the front row, okay? But get in, and you can worry about your position later. You can always, once Jesus is in your heart, you'll make changes. You'll be a changed person. You're not going to see it overnight, but over the next 10 or 20 years, you won't be the same guy or same woman that started today. Reverend Bob here signing off. A little long in this segment, but get it. Don't be an idiot. Get some Jesus. Protect yourself. Sayonara. If I can get my cursor to work. There we go.